Hey guys, my name is Triple H Guy 2004, and I'm here to review the best of WCW Monday Night Nitro DVD that I did an unboxing of a couple days ago. I've been reviewing this DVD, watching it, and going through some of the stuff that I liked. And I didn't watch all the matches on it. There was a lot of matches on it, but I did watch most of the matches and most of the segments. I have to say, most of the DVD itself was, like, the second disc was heavy NWO. So if you really liked NWO, you're gonna like the second disc. But, I recommend this DVD for any, WCW fan, any wrestling fan, period. If you're, a younger wrestling fan, you didn't know too much about WCW, it's really a good thing to review this DVD because, like Eric Bischoff has said in other DVDs, he kind of made WWE change the way they did TV. And it was one of the reasons that the WWE eventually beat WCW in the Monday Night Wars, or the WWF, whatever you want to call it. I'm so used to calling it the WWE now. I love the WWF. I wish they could have kept that name. But that's, beside the point. But, this DVD, like I said in my unboxing, was hosted by Diamond Dallas Page. Diamond Dallas Page was heavy in the WCW organization, and he kind of faded away when he came over to WWF when Vince McMahon purchased WCW. But I think he was the best choice that they could have gotten to host WCW because Ric Flair's in TNA, Sting's in TNA, Hulk Hogan's in TNA. I mean, who else were they going to have, host it? It had to be a WCW guy. It had to be somebody that was there through the good times and the bad times, which DDP was. Like I said, the second disc was very heavy of the NWO. The first disc was very good. It gave a lot of, history of it. I'm not gonna list all the matches on it. What I'm gonna do in this review is I'm gonna pick, like, maybe one or two matches from each disc that I really liked. I'm not gonna list all the matches. You can find it. I got the match listing at WWE DVD News, so you can go to that. So my first two matches for the first disc, I would definitely have to say that, just trying to remember, I watched this disc a couple days ago, so it's not as fresh in my mind as the first two discs. I'm just looking at my phone here, that's why I'm kind of looking down. I got the list on my iPhone. So, I'm going to have to pick for my first match. I would definitely have to say the opening. The first match was very good. I mean, it was pretty short, but Flying Brian Pillman versus Jushin Thunder Liger. That was a very good match. My second match would definitely be on this. Would be um, Rey Mysterio versus Dean Malenko. Very good match, back and forth. I believe this match ended in a draw, if I'm not mistaken. Once everybody gets the DVD, they can tell me if that was right or not. Maybe I'll even go back and review it, and I'll give you the updated. But I'm also gonna do a sleeper match that not too many fans know about and remember because it was so long ago. But I don't really remember this match per se, but it kind of brought back to me that this match happened. Um, because I used to watch WCW back in the day, so I remember seeing this back then. I just couldn't really remember it, but it was good to go. I like those matches that you kind of forget, but then you're like, oh yeah, I remember this match. And my sleeper match for this one was definitely Lord Steven Regal versus Belfast Bruiser, who later became Fit Finley, and then just dropping the Fit part and Finley in WWE when he came over into WWE. His just name was Finley. And Fit Finley is William Regal and Fit Finley are true wrestling geniuses. These two guys go out and they're brawlers, they're technical guys, and that's why I picked them as like a sleeper match. Not too many people know about this match. And this, if I didn't say, was a parking lot brawl. It was it was a quick match, but it was, loaded with a lot of, you know, weapons and stuff like that. This is definitely your match. The two from the second disc, like I said, this was heavily bombarded with the NWO angle. Because this was like 90, this two covered like 97. I mean, the first disc did some of that NWO too, but this one was, more NWO a lot. And, my two matches for the disc 2 that I really liked was Hulk Hogan and Goldberg. This was from Atlanta, Georgia. It was the largest crowd, a TV audience on live national television, non-pay-per-view. It was the largest crowd ever, and not only in WCW history, but in professional wrestling history. I'm not sure if it still stands. I'm not sure what the total was, but it was at the Georgia Dome, where this year was WrestleMania 27. And I believe they had that many people that were at WrestleMania 27 in the stands for WCW Monday Night Nitro. Something I don't think TNA could ever do. They would have to get a lot better to do that. My second match for this one would have to be Six versus Rey Mysterio Jr. Six, of course, was X-Pac, aka Sean Waltman. His real name is, he was X-Pac in WWF, and he was Six in WCW. He was part of the NWO. This match was back and forth, and it was a good match. I believe it was a really good match. I believe Six won it, so. And I'm not gonna do a sleeper match for this one. I'm gonna do the best skit that it was. The best skit definitely was the reformation of the Four Horsemen. And in this skit, Arn Anderson comes out and he talks and he brings out all the members of the Four Horsemen. James J. Dillon first comes out, and he talks and brings out Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson talks, and then he brings out Steve Mongo McMichaels, Iceman D. Malenko, and the Crippler Chris Benoit, and also Ric Flair. And then a funny thing, not really funny, but WWE, since Chris Benoit has died, has, put everything in their, arsenal to hide Chris Benoit from all WWE DVDs, including some that he should have been on. You know what I mean? Just matches that he had good matches with guys that they've put out DVDs of in the past, and other DVDs, just different DVDs that they put out, like, SmackDown, Best of SmackDown, the 10-year anniversary of SmackDown, when they put that DVD out, He could have been on that. He had some pretty good SmackDown matches, but they didn't, because they want to hide the fact that he ever existed in the WWE. And in the skit, Arn Anderson was talking, and they kept on going to this sign in the crowd, and it said, Iceman. It had all the nicknames on it. It had Iceman, Mongo, Nature Boy, and on the sign it said Crippler, for Crippler Chris Benoit. Crippler Chris Benoit was his nickname in WCW, and they said that in an article that I read before this DVD came out, they said that they were gonna, they blocked whatever, when it would say about, Chris Benoit, or Crippler Chris Benoit, they would blur it out, or beep it out, or whatever. But they didn't blur this sign out, and they showed it in the crowd about 4 or 5 times during the skit. So I thought that was, odd. And the third disc, I would definitely say my favorite match was, one of my favorite matches was, Sting versus Diamond Dallas Page. This was a really good matchup, and Diamond Dallas Page lost the title, but apparently later in that night, which it wasn't shown, that DDP won the title for the second time. So later in that night. And my second favorite match on this was definitely Eddie Guerrero versus Juventud Guerrera. Just because I loved Eddie Guerrero, and this was a really good match, back and forth matchup. Eddie Guerrero won it with the Frog Splash, and this was his first match back before he almost died in his car accident. If you don't know, Eddie Guerrero, before he died in 2005, he was in a serious auto accident, and he shouldn't have been wrestling. A lot of the doctors said that he wasn't never going to walk again. If you had watched the Lie, Death, Cheat, and Steal DVD, or whatever it's called, Cheating Death, Stealing Life, that's what I think it's called. And the skit for this one, I'll do the skit. The best skit of the night was, this DVD was, I'll have to go with the best skit was, at the end, Bischoff and Vince Russo came in to try to save one last ditch effort on it. And they brought out all the WCW stars that were there at the time in the ring, and they stripped all the champions at that time of the titles, and I just liked it because it was so like raw emotion and all that. But again, I've been reviewing the WCW Monday Night Nitro Best of Monday Night Nitro DVD that I believe it's been released in the UK, but it hasn't been released in the United States yet. But somebody made a mistake at my local Best Buy. I told the story to one of my wrestling buddies on YouTube. I walked into Best Buy on Thursday, I believe it was Thursday, and it was either Thursday or Friday, but I'm pretty sure it was Thursday. And I was just, looking for DVDs, just, see what was there. I was wasting some time. We had to waste some time in town. And I'm going through the, wrestling DVDs. Every time I go to Best Buy or Walmart, I look at the WWE DVDs just to see if something that previous week came out, or if there was any deals. And I came upon the DVD, and I hadn't seen it on WWE TV, and usually when like a DVD like this, they show it on Monday Night Raw or at least a Friday Night SmackDown, and they didn't do that, so I was really curious, And then I remembered that I read online a couple weeks ago that it was supposed to really be released on the 7th of June, and I'm like, okay, this isn't supposed to be released till Tuesday. That's kind of weird. So it's on the shelf. So I go to the counter and I pay for my DVD, and it lets me pay for it. I go to look for WWE Extreme Rules on Blu-ray, even in regular. At Best Buy, at my Best Buy, they didn't have the regular or the Blu-ray. Stevie Breach apparently had to order it through Walmart.com if you want Extreme Rules to get Christian winning the World Heavyweight title, even though it was only for a couple days. But back to my story. I go up to the guy and I asked him to look that up, and he tells me they don't have it and he can look at a different store. But I was like, the closest Best Buy to me is like 45 minutes, and I didn't want to, have my dad drive me down there. So, so I tell him, he notices in my hand that I already bought the DVD, and he notices in my hand that I have the Best of WCW, and he's like, where the hell did you get that? I'm like, it's on the shelf over there. And there was like 4 or 5 copies on the shelf when I went to go, pay for it, and, he goes, that's not supposed to be there, and you paid for it, and everything went through okay, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. And he's like, oh, really? That's not supposed to be on the shelf till next week. And I'm like, hey, you know what? There's nothing I can do about it. I've already paid for it. And he's like, yeah, you're right. So I thought it was pretty funny. But back to my review. I definitely give this DVD for any true wrestling fan. You should get this if you're a WCW fan, or if you know anybody who was a wrestling fan that really liked WCW. I would get that for them if their birthday or, something is coming up. Graduation present. It's a really good DVD. I definitely give it a strong I definitely give it a strong 8. 8 out of 10. I mean, I want to give it, you know what? Screw that. I'm going to give it a 10. I mean, this is a really good DVD. A lot of good matches. A lot of matches that I've never seen before. A lot of matches that I probably had seen before but forgot. Good production, good stories. Again, it's hosted by Diamond Dallas Page. If you like him, you'll like him in this. He gives a lot of good insight to it. And that is my review again of WCW Best of Monday Night Nitro DVD. Go get it in your local Best Buy, Walmart, wherever you buy your WWE DVDs on Tuesday. And I'll see you guys later. My name's Triple H Guy 2004. Subscribe to me. Leave your comments, and I will check you later. I'll be back with you tomorrow night for Monday Night